Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population and with little or no meaningful engagement leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
Good evening and welcome to Ways Primetime. My name is Chioma Kalu. Now, tonight we have a very special conversation that is very dear to my heart, and we're talking about INEC again. So you see, Nigeria's new electoral chief, Professor Joash Ojo Amupitan, SAN, has made headlines following his confirmation by the Senate as the 13th chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission yesterday. In his first major statement since taking office, Professor Amupitan pledged that under his leadership, losers will congratulate winners. Now, the new INEC chairman during his screening said that his goal is to build an elections management system so credible that even defeated candidates will accept results in good faith. Now, he vowed to restore public trust in INEC by reforming internal processes, improving technology, and strengthening institutional integrity. Now, we have a short clip from that screening process where he was making his speech, so we'll just take a look. I'm guessing my video is ready. Right there.
I want to identify some areas which I believe have already been handled in the amendments. For instance, the issue of timeline, which is requiring the amendment of the Constitution. But apart from that, there are even inconsistent timeline provisions within the Act itself. Because you set some timelines which is in contradiction with another provisions on timeline. So all those issues will have to be streamlined and ensure that there are no ambiguities. And then we have election litigation. So we are going to see how an election is credible so that the loser will even come and congratulate the winner and say you won fairly and well. So if we can do that, it's just like a judge convicting a person, sentencing him to death, and say, well done, because I believe I've got injustice. And the distinguished Senator Boje, on issue of security, I think I've spoken to that, sir, that we will look into it. I don't have the facts now, but I know there's a joint action committee which I co-chair, and then we'll see how best to address the issue of security as far as election materials are concerned. And finally, distinguished Senator Yari, thank you for your question, sir. I want to say that you have enough laws. This Parliament, National Assembly, have enacted laws for the purposes of ensured proper utilization of funds, and that is the Procurement Act and the Finance Act. So those laws that have been enacted will be enforced strictly in order to ensure that funding of the commission are utilized for the purpose for which they have been given. And if the opportunities to save funds, to save costs, we shall also do that. Thank you, sir. Distinguished Your Excellency, sir, the Senate President.
Now, we heard our new INEC chairman. You see, this declaration, all of these things he has said, has sparked nationwide debates, right? With some describing it as a bold vision for democratic renewal, and others calling it an overly ambitious promise in a country where post-election disputes have become the norm. So, you see, tonight we are assessing Amupitan's pledge and, you know, the road to credible elections. And we're wondering, beyond promises, can he actually repair INEC's fractured image, right? Can he do that? Anyway, remember, Ways is all about you, as you are the why in Ways. So be a part of the conversation every single day, including today. Add your voice, and also head on to YouTube and subscribe to our channel at Official Upgrade TV. Invite everyone to like, share, and follow us. When I open my phone lines, I would really love to hear your say on this particular topic, because like I always say, it is touching on all of us as Nigerians. And as always on this table, we have a quote for the day to ponder on. It says, elections mean nothing if the people cannot trust the umpire. And this was said, of course, by our new INEC chairman, Joash Amupitan, SAN. We'll go into all of this much later. But before then, I'll go on a break. And when I come back, I'll take you through my news interest for the day. Don't go away. Stay with us. Welcome back. We'll quickly look at the stories making headlines. And the first one I have says, presidential pardon still under review, not yet final. And this was said by our AGF, Fabemi. Now, the story says, the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice has clarified that no inmate approved for clemency under the recent exercise of the President Bola Tinubu, you know, his power of prerogative of mercy, has been released from custody. Now, the clarification comes amid widespread debate following President Tinubu's recent exercise of prerogative of mercy for selected inmates. Now, the office of the AGF said the process remains at the final administrative stage, which includes a standard review to ensure that all the names and recommendations fully comply with established legal and procedural requirements before any instrument of release is issued. A statement personally signed by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Prince Lateef Fabemi, on Thursday said, it is important to note that the last stage of this exercise after approval by the Council of State is the issuance of the instrument for the implementation of the decision concerning each beneficiary. This stage affords an opportunity for a final look at the list for remedial purposes, if any, before the instrument is forwarded to the Controller General of Corrections for necessary action. He noted that the verification process is part of the standard protocol and reflects the government's commitment to transparency and due diligence. I mean, I think this clarification was, you know, really needed, because after, I think it was on Sunday, we saw the long list of people that the president is granting pardon. It was very disturbing, because in that list, you're seeing some people that were murderers. We see some people that were fraudulent people, of course, committing fraud. We also saw, of course, we saw people all the way from the 1940s and all that were, of course, posthumous pardon, right? And a lot of things, a lot of people were not satisfied. It raised a lot of dust, right? People complained. I mean, look at the case of this lady who murdered her husband and all of that. So it became very controversial. And I think this clarification is very important to us, so that we know that, okay, due process is following. And like always, telling us that you want to right the wrongs made in history is not enough reason. We need to know the reasons backing up these pardons. And like the AGF has just told us, the government is committed to transparency and due diligence. I do hope in the bid to verify all of these things before implementation of this pardon, we are seeing transparently every step, every process, every reason, you know, these pardons are being granted. Moving on to my second story, it says 5 policemen killed in Zamfara, bandit ambush. Now, the story says 5 policemen have been declared, 5 policemen have been killed and 1 declared missing after armed bandits ambushed a police patrol team on Thursday in Safe local government area of Zamfara State. A resident of Safe who spoke to Channels Television on condition of anonymity for security reasons said the police team was carrying out its daily patrol when armed bandits suddenly opened fire on them. According to the source, the bodies of 5 police personnel were later recovered from the scene, while 1 officer remains missing as security operatives continue to comb the area. The remains of the slain policemen were taken to the Yariman Bukura Specialist Hospital in Gusau, the state capital. Confirming the incident in a telephone conversation, the spokesperson of the Zamfara State Police Command, DSP Yazid Abubakar, said the attack occurred along the Safe Tua Highway during a routine patrol. He said additional security reinforcements have been deployed to the area while a search and rescue operation is ongoing to locate missing officer and track down the attackers. This is really sad. It's really sad that we're still dealing with these things, right? It's really, really sad. And I think it's high time we place more focus on these areas, especially in the north. This issue of banditry, terrorism, we shouldn't be having all of these conversations in 2025. And look at us wanting to go for elections in 2026. When we have some things like this that we need to tackle, we need to deal with. We need to, I would always say, we need to focus on governance as against, the elections and wanting to just be in power. But it's very transient. It will come and go. But the impact you make in people's lives, it remains forever, right? I mean, let's do better. It's not a sweet story to listen to that, oh, we've lost 5 men and 1 remains missing. And nothing is being done to the bandits. We don't even know who they are. We don't know where they are. I don't think it's such a balanced story. Nobody deserves to have... These men are serving their nation for God's sake. They don't deserve to die like that. All right? So moving on to my last story of interest before we get into our conversation for tonight. 2027. Those planning to rig Abia Guba should write their wills. And this was said by my Governor Alex Choma Oti. Now, the story says, Abia State Governor Alex Oti has said that the will of God and the mandate of the people will determine who wins the 2027 governorship election in his state, warning that nobody should contemplate rigging results against people's wills. Oti, who sounded the warning at the government house, Umuahia, on Thursday during October edition of Alex Oti Speaks to Abians, said that those planning rigging should first write their wills. Governor Oti was reacting to a question from a journalist concerning the recent statements credited to the Deputy Speaker of House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, where he, that is the Deputy Speaker, said that his party, APC, will take over the rulership of Abia in 2027. Oti, who declared that he is not afraid of threat by the Deputy Speaker's statement, said that Kalu was entitled to, or is entitled to contest the 2027 governorship election in Abia, but must learn to play according to the rules. Now, Oti said, I have heard that some people around him say, oh, they must take over these states, they must write results. But the only advice I have for them is that if they truly want to write results, they should write something else before that time. You know what that is? Their will, Oti said. Now, Oti also used the media chat to reiterate that he's not joining the All Progressive Congress, APC, but still a member of the Labour Party. I think, first of all, I'm going to start with the last statement. I think this clarification was very needed at the time, at this particular time, seeing how almost all the governors around the Southeast are moving with Peter Enugu leaving. We just saw Diri of Bayelsa leaving as well. And Oti seemed to be the only man standing that is not in APC. And I think a few weeks ago, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps, Benjamin Kalu, visited Abia. I think he was representing the president to commission something in the state. I can't really remember. And he went on there and started saying things about APC taking over power in Abia State and all. And the first thing in my head is, why don't you stick to the reason you were brought here? Represent the president and move on. Don't seize every opportunity as a campaign opportunity. And then looking at, well, I'm from Abia State, so I can give you first-hand first-hand information. Looking at everything Governor Oti has done in that state, Abia people are very loyal people. There's no need wanting to, you know, rally or like the governor said, play fair, play very fair in this coming elections, right? Don't try rigging or anything, because to be very honest, I don't think you're going to succeed, right? So just, there's no need for the rancor. There's no need to start pulling out a sword in a battle that we're just using our mouth to talk about. Nobody is even talking about the campaign. You raised it, right? I must really commend Governor Oti, because the work he's doing in that place is very impeccable. And good luck to whoever wants to take after that, because it will be a very big shoe to fill. Anyway, that's all I have that caught my interest today. We're going to go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll dive into our topic for tonight. Don't go away. Thank you for staying tuned. If you're just joining us, tonight's conversation centers on politics of trust. And we're asking, can the new INEC chairman repair INEC's fractured image? Now, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation by sending an SMS or WhatsApp to 0818-038-4663. Our phone lines are also open. You can call on 070-2500-7749 and also on 0701-4242-420. Let's hear what you have to say. Now, from the moment he stood before the Senate for his confirmation, right, Professor Amupitan made it very clear. He intends to reset public confidence in INEC. He said he hopes to do so by tackling the very faults that shook faith in 2023: failed result transmission, ambiguity in electoral technologies, contested legal interpretations, and weak internal accountability. Now, I like his courage, I like his confidence, but I'm asking, and I think every Nigerian out there is also asking, right? Will his ambition match the scale of the challenge? You know, that's just all we want to examine tonight. And I'm not going to be doing this by myself. Joining us to unpack this particular development, I have Judge Turner, Zonal Secretary of the PDP South-South Zone. Good evening, Turner.
Yeah, good evening, Choma. How are you?
Very well, very well. Thank you for joining us tonight. Yeah, so quickly, let's dive into it, right? Amupitan declared yesterday that losers will congratulate winners, you know, now in this is present tenure. So on the face of it, right, it sounds very ideal. Let's not lie, it sounds encouraging, it sounds fun, it sounds promising. But is that even realistic in Nigeria's political climate currently?
Yeah, yeah, it's actually no impossibility with that statement. You see, leadership has a lot to do with courage. Courage now involves the personality of the leader. I want to come on board, which is confirmation today by the Senate, and the way and manner he carries on his assignment will now determine, you know, what the INEC, you know, peers, you know, to be before Nigerians. There has been distrust, there has been public distrust, there have been issues with confidence. Nigerians don't seem to have confidence in that organization, INEC, and you see that very quickly with the level of turn-up in our election circles. You know, when you hear millions of collected voter cards, and then you hear millions of registered voters. And then at the end of the day, the percentage that returns a president that governs over the affairs of this country is really not a percentage that represents even 1% of our total population. It calls for worry. So it means that confidence has been badly damaged. And so quickly, Professor Kuboton will have the task of settling down, hit the ground running, and rebuild confidence. You will also have to play, a personality role within the INEC. Within the INEC, you must be able to create a new identity, build strong internal control systems, and ensure a kind of rebranding, that works within the INEC as an institution. Before, it's like the story of, having your cup very clean outside, but the inside, you can't give anybody water with it, to drink. So first of all, he has to quickly clean up INEC, move that organization to the theater, carry out a surgical operation immediately, and get every as it were, disease, that is going to form a clog in the wheel of progress for him, out. And then when you do that, you now ensure that, Nigerians begin to build that interest and confidence in INEC. It is not rocket science. It's not, too difficult to do. It's just be patriotic, and then know that, okay, I have a job to do, and then I'm here to get it done. He must quickly work with the National Assembly to get through the amendments, needed for a very transparent 2027 election. Those things that pose a challenge in 2023, that have legal concern must be sorted out. Must be sorted out. So he has that task to work with the National Assembly to deliver as quick as possible, an electoral act that works for the system and that works for the people.
Okay.
So he has a lot on his table, and I expect that the good thing with his appointment, a senior advocate of Nigeria, and with his legal background and knowledge and expertise, and then a professor of law. I mean, if you talk of qualification, we can't ask for anything better.
Yeah.
But he must justify his confidence and ensure that he has the only constituency he has is the Nigerian constituency.
Right.
The people of Nigeria, he must understand that his employers are the people of Nigeria and is answerable only to the people of Nigeria.
Okay.
He must avoid the temptation of descending into the arena of politics. Leave politics for politicians,
right?
And ensure that he carries that unfair role, in a manner that dignifies his office and his person, and then make it very uncomfortable for politicians to even have the slightest, thought of engaging INEC negatively.
Okay.
I trust in his
let me come in, Mr. Turner. Right? I hear you. He has a lot of responsibilities, like you've said, beyond the promise, beyond the confidence, right? But now I'm thinking, because, you saw that proposal of trying to move the elections to November 2026. And now he's been installed, I would say, as the new chairman of INEC. And with what you just said, he needs to do a total clean out of all the rubbish, I would call it, in the commission, right? Would you think he would have the time if that proposal comes into, becomes law and it's moved, do you think even without the proposal and all, do you think he has the time before 2027 to do that proper cleanup?
Yeah, there must be some quick fix, Yeah, he has to set his agenda as quickly as possible. And I will expect that he doesn't put too much on his table. Set a target. 2027 is just here, and it's going to be his first major assignment. What do Nigerians want? We don't want much. Credible election, credible process, transparent process, that outcomes are acceptable. Once you get to that level where outcomes are acceptable, and best practices are seen to be deployed in arriving at those outcomes, I mean, Nigerians will hate you. So I don't expect him to clean up INEC overnight.
Right.
Of course, it's not going to perform magic. There cannot be a miracle in, like Christians who believe in miracle, but when you are to reform an institution, it takes diligence and hard work and planning, and then you deliver on your agenda, as it were. So I will expect that it takes things, as they are, one after the other, and then prioritize, those things that will help him in the immediate, a quick fix kind of, to deliver on the 2027 general election.
All right.
All eyes on him.
Yeah.
All eyes on him. And also, not just about the election. The election is an end in this event. There has to be a means to the end. And so people will be watching. How do you manage issues with political parties, compliance with the law, ensure democratic practices within the political parties as they move on to congresses, as they move on to primaries, and all of those processes. The INEC must be seen to be effective, must be seen to be efficient, and the overall, get Nigerians to own the process. He must ensure that he creates that sense of ownership. And the only way to do so is to show to Nigerians that there's a clear roadmap, a workable roadmap that will lead to a destination, that we all desire.
All right. I mean, you've spoken really well, and I want us to, we're going to be taking from his speech one by one, okay? So one of the things he mentioned during his screening, he vowed to audit IREV, right, the IREV portal. And, I mean, the challenges we had with Beavers and IREV during the 2023 elections. So he vowed to audit that portal and address the technological glitches, as it were, from 2023. How important do you think this is? And also, very importantly, how difficult do you think this is going to be for him?
You see, one of the challenge he will have is that in delivering INEC's mandate, you require partnership.
Okay.
Right? INEC is not, like an omnipotent kind of organization where it's in charge of all of its affairs. For instance, if you want to deal with security, INEC requires partnership with security agencies, right?
Yeah.
If you want to deal with issues with network like the RF and all of those issues about technology and all of that, you'll have to cut a clear partnership with the network, the service providers, as they were, And so all of these are issues that may pose some kind of challenge, for him. But I expect that with the right leadership, and with the capacity to deliver, he will be able to galvanize all of this partnership to work in favor of the commission.
Okay. Also moving on, he pledged to establish an ethics and compliance committee within INEC, and also, very importantly, a whistleblower policy to root out misconduct. Now, I particularly like this, but do you think this can work? Do you think these are enough to actually, curb these internal malpractices in the commission? Do you think it can work?
Unfortunately for him, like I noted, INEC, have even more ad hoc staff than the real staff, under their control. And you really cannot vouch for the character and competence of some of these ad hoc staff. So if you take care of what is internal, what you have under your control, the workforce of INEC, and you're able to instill the right kind of discipline, you're able to improve on your conduct, code of internal conduct, control, and all of those. How about the ad hoc staff that every now and then they engage people from all walks of life, they don't know, just engage them as ad hoc staff, and these are the real food workers, at the very critical positions in the service chain of INEC. So it is really difficult. I don't envy him, and I sympathize with the commission. So, but how much more? How much can he take in terms of doing, all of this conduct and ensure that there is a transparent chain of workforce and all of that? Because the level of ad hoc staffing in INEC's responsibility and duty line is just so much.
Right.
It's just so much, and there is little or nothing. You really can't vouch for. You can vouch for your own staff. INEC staff. How about just bring from every, every corner in the name of ad hoc staff? And these are the critical mass of workforce in INEC. These are the pooling unit. How about even the NYC, the youth corpers, who are also very critical in the chain of delivery. How about his colleagues, the professors of various universities who serve all the time and return officers and all of that? They're also under your control. There is very little he can do, but I wish him well, and I just hope that we'll get to a stage where INEC's capacity to handle these affairs, is really, granted to them. INEC, if we were a democracy that works, INEC should have its own police. INEC should have a workforce that is able and,
they should live up to their name, independent.
Exactly. We can't achieve that. We don't even have the money as a country, to achieve that. That is the simple truth. We don't have the wherewithal, we don't have the resources, we don't have the finances, to have some of these establishments to be truly independent. Just imagine that INEC need to have a staff strength that will cover an election cycle. From pooling
I think I beg to differ. I think we do have the capacity, but then we're not seeing the necessity. That's what I think.
No, we don't have. We're a very poor nation. I can tell you that for free. What are we producing? How many barrels to how many people? We're very poor. No, let's face it. Forget about Nigeria.
All right. Let's move on, right? So the Senate stood down the proposed Electoral Act amendments, right? So now I'm wondering, could any form of delay or resistance in reform legislation, could it derail his mandates, or is INEC too strong enough to act solo? Could this, standing down affect him in the long run?
His ability to deliver can actually be impeded by, the laws we have. If it is not adequate to support his vision, then there will be a problem. That is why I said he needs to quickly, work with the National Assembly to deliver that amendment of the Electoral Act in a manner that, eases his own job. I want to believe that it will be a first test of his capacity, his ability to lobby the National Assembly and get those critical amendments through will also speak a lot, to his capacity to deliver. The amendment of the Electoral Act is quite important, very, very important. If we must have an election in 2027 that is different from what we had in previous cycles.
Okay, we'll go on a very short break, and then when we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Please stay with us.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
Welcome back. We're still talking about the new INEC chairman and the promises he made to us during his screening yesterday. And we're asking if this is possible, if he can actually repair INEC's fractured image. And I have Jotana with me having this conversation. Tana, are you still with us?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, so I think I want to go this direction. Now, what metrics or early wins now do you think we have to look out for in the next 6 to 12 months to know whether his leadership is going to be serious or maybe not symbolic?
Yes, he needs to do a lot of talking.
Okay.
He needs to do a lot of talking. He must be able to by his words, reassure Nigerians and create that impression that is here to make a difference. And I am sure but we once upon a time we had a president, where we talk about body language. So it's also important from his body language and his utterances. We want to see, capacity. We want to see new ideologies, new line of thoughts, and he must be clear about his visions and then his deliverables. He must be able to carry Nigerians along, as I said so, and then create that confidence that, look, this with me is a new INEC. With me, it's a new dawn. And then we carry on with some quick deliverables, right? That will be able to create that confidence. Let Nigerians be able to say, okay, let's see how it goes. Maybe we should give him a chance. He must be able to create that, make that impression, and quickly as possible. He doesn't have time. Because, Nigerians were very quick to decide. We are quick to make our assessments.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
Yeah, he must be able to hit the ground running and then quickly carry out some internal reforms in INEC. Internal reform that suggests that he means business, and let's see how it goes. I have the confidence that he will make a difference. He will surely make a difference. He has everything going for him, to enable him make a difference.
Okay. I mean, when I hear hit the ground running, I'm thinking that's the same thing our president told us. And after we started running, a lot of things, our legs are beginning to shake, So, so when you say hit the ground running, I don't know how I feel about that. But anyway, you see, critics have said, this INEC's structural weakness go deeper than, leaders. Years of underfunding, political pressure, weak independence. Do you think he has what it takes to actually, overcome these things? Do you think?
Yeah, you see, the light minds are there.
Yeah.
Clearly, our institutions, are designed, first of all, to make you fail.
Okay.
Yes, I can tell you that for free because you are going to, as chairman of INEC, you're going to need funds, right? So you go hand in cap begging for funds. Funds might not be released as it should be.
Right.
Ordinary INEC should be on the first line charge. I doubt if in practice, so there are a lot of things that ordinarily are there to make you fail. But the ability to navigate through all of it, the ability to galvanize, the ability to mobilize, the ability to even lobby systems and, all the things that will make you succeed. Because at the end of the day, if you succeed, it is to your credit. If you fail, you are the one that will be in the box stuff on your desk. So he has a job to do. This job has to be done, and it has to be done by him, and he needs to get working. He has no time. He has no time. He needs to get on the move.
You know what they say? They say it's who pays the piper that dictates the tune. Right? I know, of course, during his screening, he said, I was not on any presidential panel and all that. But until Nigerians are able to, have the right to vote who they want, until the president stops having that sole responsibility of appointment, we would keep having doubts, right? So how do we tackle the the issue of distrust, because there's going to be that mindset that, oh, he's going to be loyal to whoever appoints him. I mean, it's an unwritten rule somewhere that, oh, your guy that brought into this job, oh, you have to be careful. Oh. How do we tackle that? How do we... I mean, he's promised us that that's not going to be the case, but how do we reassure Nigerians that that really is not going to be the case?
Now, let me quickly say, we Nigerians were also a very difficult set of people.
Okay.
And I mean, without myself inclusive and all of us, we have corrupt mindsets. Our mindsets are so corrupt, especially the mindset on how we assess and appreciate public office holders. Now, if I tell you that the only way Nigerians want to assess Professor Amupitan to have performed or to have changed the image of INEC for the better, or, I mean, to have done anything good, is that President Tinubu loses election. That's the kind of mindset. No, I'm telling you, I'm not joking about it.
Okay.
I'm not joking about it. Yes, when we talk about corruption, we just feel the once you put on your television that, oh, so minister, also assembly, National Assembly also is a criminal. Oh, 200 billion, trillion that we don't even have. That it's a criminal. Oh, Nigerians, so this is the best. This is a crime fighter. That is the kind of mindset that we have. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that all the time. If the process is credible and President Tinubu wins an election and is returned, let it be so. But the difficult thing is that until Professor Amupitan announces that President Tinubu has lost the election, average Nigerians will not feel or believe or accept or agree that he has done anything good. So, first of all, let us purge ourselves, purge our hearts of this corrupt mindset. It is always all the time not good to assess our public officers in a manner we feel that, by our own thinking and standard, it should be like this. No. So I expect that Nigerians will also give him a chance. Give him the benefit of the doubt, and allow him to do the best that he can do. And on the average, if he delivers a transparent process and we can all appreciate it, that, this is okay, we commend it. But not to expect that he's going to build aeroplane. I doubt if he knows, if he's an aeronautic engineer and that knows how to build aeroplane. But let us not expect that he should build aeroplane. But on the average, he's a human being like all of us. And he's also a Nigerian, I'm sure he feels what we feel. But we let's give him that support, give him the benefit of the doubt, and pray for him.
All right. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have this evening. But then, just before I let you go, I understand your stance saying Nigerians can be difficult people. I get it, but with the issue of not being able to trust the system, I think we are scarred, right? The system has failed us over and over. And so it's a bit difficult to just trust at first instance, right? But then we hope Amupitan does exceptionally well. Like you said, we don't envy him. We don't want to be where he is because that's a lot of work that he has taken up, right? We pray for him. We wish him well. And with his pedigree, we trust he's going to do exceptional, right, in that position.
Like I said, he needs to win the confidence of Nigerians.
Exactly. And that in itself is a lot of work to do, first of all, right? In fact, I think that's like 70% of the work he has to do, because as much as you think Nigerians are very difficult people, we are very, very supportive people when you do us well. It's just what it is, right? So when he's succeeded in winning Nigerians over, I think his reign is going to be very smooth. But on that note, that's all we can say.
Can I just tell you something quickly?
Okay, 1 minute,
If Professor Amupitan just wakes up after election without even looking at the result and announce that President Tinubu have lost, and announced that all the governors, all the APC governors, all the PDP governors have lost, and new set of people who are not known have won election, everybody will clap for him.
No,
Not minding that he did not even
I beg
collate
to
his
differ.
results.
I disagree on that count because we have Nigerians who also are supportive of this present administration and the party. But like I said, sir, that's all the time we have. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, and I hope you do enjoy your weekend. So we've seen promises. That's what Amupitan gave to us yesterday. But they are just the starting points. They are not, they're not the main thing. Performance is the test. And when he says losers will congratulate winners, he's asking Nigerians to believe that elections can transcend suspicion and move to something tangible. You see, but belief alone is empty without systems to deliver integrity. Technological robustness, internal checks, legal clarity, security protocols, everything has to align. And in the coming months, we will catch, we have to, everybody is going to watch for not just words, but actions. Words are okay, but we have to see actions backing it up. So if even one flawed election slips through his watch, the promise will ring very hollow. It will sound like noise again. But if he manages even, a transparent, peaceful election, it might just shift the narrative, right, from skepticism to cautious optimism. Because democracy is not just hoping for the best. It's building the checks, habits, and institutions that make the best possible. Anyway, this is all I can take for this evening. And just before we go, right, let's take our quote again if you missed it earlier. And this quote was said by the man of the hour, Professor Joash Amupitan, our new INEC chairman. He said, elections mean nothing if the people cannot trust the umpire. I really am rooting for him, even though I don't envy his position, but I trust and I hope that he's going to do something exceptional, something different, and put INEC in the good light for once in this nation. My name is Chioma Kalu, and this has been Ways Primetime. Have a good night, and I'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.